Welcome back to another explainer. Today we are taking a highly technical CAPTCHA IAI developer guide and transforming it into a practical, battle-tested roadmap for building resilient, production-ready automation workflows. We've all been there, right? You build a script, it perfectly interacts with a protected form or login locally, and then you watch it completely break the second it leaves your machine. Well, today we're going to fix that.
Let's kick things off with this quote because it hits the nail on the head. An automation workflow can work perfectly in testing and still fail after deployment. And the difference is usually not the code. It is the lack of production checks. It's incredibly, deceptively simple to get that first successful run in a local notebook. But the real test isn't getting it to work once in a happy path demo. The real test is keeping it running when absolutely no one is watching.
Section 1. The production reality. We really have to start by acknowledging the harsh environment where your automation actually lives.
So, the crucial thing to understand here is the stark contrast between your calm, controlled testing environment and the wild west of production environments. Unattended workflows need serious reliability planning. When you deploy, your code is suddenly dealing with scheduled jobs running at 3 a.m., internal queues that get backed up, and unattended automated processes that just have to survive network hiccups or unexpected page changes on their own. If your code needs a human holding its hand to survive these realities, it's just not ready for production.
Moving on to Section 2, the pre-flight checklist. To survive that production chaos, we are going to pivot to a highly tactical operational checklist.
Here is the exact playbook you should be referencing in your code reviews to build a resilient system. First up, validate inputs. You absolutely must capture exactly what the solver needs, site key, page URL, action, straight from the live HTML. Sending the wrong parameters just creates these massive false debugging trails later. Second, handle failures. Treat any non-200 status as a hard error. Log the full response and pipe it to your monitoring channel. Third, control retries. Don't overpoll. The sweet spot is waiting 15 seconds, then polling every 5 seconds with a hard 120-second cap. And finally, monitor performance and measure outcomes. Getting a solved token and actually having your downstream workflow succeed are two entirely different things, and you've got to track both.
Now, this part is absolutely crucial. A mismatched session is literally the most common cause of token rejection. You can do everything 100% perfectly with the API, but if you apply that solved token in a different browser context or a fresh HTTP session, it's going to fail. It's like showing your ID at the front door, but then trying to use someone else's ticket once you're inside. This same session handoff is an absolute necessity.
You know the saying, if you can't measure it, you can't defend it. You need to wire these exact KPIs into your dashboards so you spot regressions way before your users do. Check out these targets. Your P50 first solve latency should be under 25 seconds. Your solver success rate needs to be at or above 95%, which essentially proves your inputs are correct. And most importantly, your end-to-end acceptance needs to match that 95%, proving that your downstream verification is actually accepting the token you just paid to solve.
Section 3. Common automation mistakes. Because even with a rock-solid checklist, teams still trip over a few very dangerous but entirely preventable pitfalls.
Let's look at what usually goes wrong. Assuming success means everything worked is a classic mistake. Just because the API handed you a token doesn't mean your target site accepted it. Then there's ignoring latency changes, which means you're totally missing the early warning signs of an integration health issue. Retrying forever, massive red flag. Failing to monitor dependencies basically means you're flying blind. And not assigning ownership means those late-night pager alerts get ignored until the whole system completely falls over.
90%. The source reveals that those specific operational errors we just listed account for roughly 90% of the support tickets they see for this integration. That is a staggering number. It means if you just fix these foundational issues, you essentially eliminate the vast majority of your pipeline headaches.
And hey, it's not just about technical headaches, it's about your bottom line. Wrong parameter loops and retry storms are the main cost killers that erode your margins as your volume scales up. By simply capping your retries at 3 attempts with an exponential backoff, you instantly eliminate the retry storms that absolutely destroy your cost per solve metrics. Infinite retries just hide real defects and burn through your account balance.
Resolution: detecting problems early. As we wrap up this operational playbook, we really need to completely reframe how we view system failures. An automated process will eventually encounter an error. The page layout is going to change, the network will drop, a key will expire. That is just a given. But remember, reliable automation is not about avoiding every failure. It is about detecting problems early and recovering quickly. It's about building a system that logs the exact error code, alerts you logically, and recovers on its own instead of just spinning endlessly in the dark.
So I want to leave you with this question to think about. If your automation workflow broke in production tonight, how long would it actually take your dashboards to detect it? Take a hard look at your own unattended workflows today. Check them against the KPIs we discussed. Are you actively tracking downstream acceptance? Stop debugging failures that your infrastructure should be handling for you. Instrument your integrations the right way, and watch that long tail of support tickets effectively disappear. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.